You know the CIA got caught with opium in Southeast Asia and Vietnam. We're now in Colombia putting bases in. Anywhere there's drugs, our troops are there to eradicate the other guy's drugs and protect the drug kingpins that launder their money through U.S. and European banks.
And add to that the fact that that's how the CIA gets their revenue, so that they can then do operations that they can keep away from Congress. Because if they have to do operations that require them to get money from our tax money, then they have to be forward enough to let Congress know what they're doing with the money. But if they're getting money via illegal drugs and making all sorts of money out of that end of the world, they then don't have to declare any of that to Congress, and that's when they can do these dirty jobs that the American public will never know about.
Governor Jesse Ventura, that is the nail on the head. Absolutely. I hadn't even thought to make that point. All those tens of billions in unaccountable money that these private interests...
They run their operations so that they don't have to be accountable to the Congress.
Absolutely. In fact, in '96, that came out on C-SPAN with the CIA Inspector General testifying that the CIA brought in the crack cocaine epidemic.
Well, that I don't know. You know about that, Alex. I don't. I can only speak to what I know about, and you know, you're better well read on it than I am.
Well, no, I mean, you know as much or more than I do. You just brought up the key point that they're funding their black operations with this.
Oh yeah, no, I've felt that and known that for a long, long time. That's the simple way to do it. That's how you keep it out of the public eye. That's how you can get money to do political assassinations, like in the old days when they used to attempt to kill Castro.
Okay, I'm going to shut up.
If they do that, if they get money from Congress, then they have to submit reports, and it has to be far more above board. But if they get the money from somewhere else, which can be dirty drug money, well, then they can spend it on any operations they want to do, and they don't have to be accountable to the American public or the Congress for it.
Absolutely. Governor, we've got you here to talk about the TV show, so I'm going to stop getting off on other issues. I apologize, but it's always interesting to hear your truthful perspective, because you're absolutely right on those issues. Where to start with the TV show? I mean, I've seen the one promo clip where you went out to HARP and they threatened to arrest you, and then suddenly the equipment went dead. Let's go through the 7 episodes and give people an idea what's coming up.
Well, hopefully I can remember them all. I'll tell you, it was so hectic shooting them that sometimes I had to jump from one episode to another episode. And that plays games with your mind, because you're focused in on one thing, and then, you know, the next half a day you might be doing something for a completely different episode.
Well, let me ask this. What's your favorite? What's your favorite episode?
I would say my favorite one would be 9/11. Because I think 9/11 was the original one that I took to the True TV people to sell them on this show, and so it was personal to me because of my investigation of it so far. So I would have to say that one is the most satisfying, although they all are pretty much. And I'll put it to you this way. The way that I'm going to explain it is quite simple, Alex. People can choose to believe the conspiracies or not, all 7 of these, and they're all fairly modern day. The one thing True Channel wanted to do, we don't go back to Kennedy, we don't go back. They wanted to keep this first series within the last decade, pretty much. And you can choose to believe them or you can choose not to believe them, but I'll guarantee you this: if you watch the show, you're going to get scared. Because even if they're not true, there is still the element that they may be, they might be, and they could be. And maybe they are. And that should be enough to wake people up and scare them. This is the first show that I've ever done in my career where I got scared. And I don't get scared easy.
I remember a few weeks ago, I ran into, and we were checking in at the hotel, and you walked up and you were shaking your head and you said, Alex, you were there with your son Tyrell, who's working on the show as well, doing a great job. You walked up and you said, Alex, when I go to bed at night, my head's spinning with all this information. This stuff is scary.
Oh, yeah. No, we went into some places that, you think is only fantasy land, but it could very well be reality land. And it's stuff that people don't even think about, don't deal with in their daily lives. You know, that's one of the main things is people out there have to earn a living. They have to make a living for their families, so they haven't got time to go delving into the underhanded stuff that government might be doing. And it's interesting, Alex, that we started this show with the concept that we were going to show both sides of the conspiracy and then allow the viewer to make a choice at the end of which one he or she would choose to believe.
Hold it there. Got a break, Governor. This is key info coming up. All right, going back to Governor Jesse Ventura. This is a short segment, long segment coming up. He'll be with us a little bit into the next hour. We're going to open the phones up specifically only for Governor Jesse Ventura at 1-800-259-9231. Quick question or comment to the governor coming up. Okay, you got cut off again by the satellite, making us go to break. Start over, Governor, with the point that you were making about the TV show.
Well, initially, Alex, we started off to do the show with the concept that both sides of the conspiracy would be told. If there were two sides, many times there may be multiple sides. But the two major sides, and then we'd let the viewer decide. Well, then the show had to go through a metamorphosis, if you will, or an evolution, whatever you want to call it, because when one side does not cooperate one bit, it is pretty hard to tell their story. And that was the case of the United States government. I did an interview the other day, a print interview, and the person asked me, and I said, well, you know, the government hasn't cooperated at all. And they said, this includes when Obama's taken over? I said, there's been no difference. I said, it hasn't made one bit of difference because we started the show, George Bush was still the president, and the show's been in the works, and I've been working on it for a year now, basically, or better. And the government cooperated nothing. Zero. Zilch. We could not even get a spokesperson out for the government. Well, we do get a few former government people who are now no longer working for the government who had courage enough to come out and talk to us and offer their opinions. But no one under the government would cooperate with this show at all. So then the show became simply more of the other side of the conspiracy being told, and now the viewer gets to see an alternative to what the government has pumped out in many occasions on the different conspiracies that they're involved with.
And by the way, we've got Governor Jesse Ventura with us talking about the new TV show that's coming up in December and January called Conspiracy Theory on True TV. Again, Jesse Ventura is our guest. How much can you tell us about the 9/11 episode? Because I know that more and more as you went out and tried to talk to them, no one would. And Jesse Ventura, Navy SEAL, governor, fighter, is a lot more intimidating and a lot more effective than when Michael Moore, and I'm not against Michael Moore, kind of ninnies around. I mean, this is some dynamic confrontations.
Alex, in many ways, Michael Moore probably got more cooperation than I got.
Well, let folks in a little bit.
I got none. When it came to 9/11, no one from the government would talk to the show. No one from the 9/11 Commission would talk. No one representing any type of government agency would talk. I don't want to wreck the show by saying what we did and where we did it and do all that because I want people to watch the show. The show came about like this. A victim came to me, and a victim pleaded with me. A victim who lost her daughter and her potential grandchild. Her daughter was pregnant, and she died the infamous day of 9/11. And her mom, came to me feeling that I was the person with this show who could bring to light the fact that we need a real investigation of 9/11 and not the one that they did. And so it's a natural progression then when it's brought to me, the next person I want to talk to is someone who was there, someone who actually went through 9/11, which we were able to do also in the show. And then from there, the progression goes to someone who was there during the cleanup, the almost 300 days that it took to clean up the mess and what went on there. Did an investigation occur there? We have the person who identified and saw the black boxes, which, of course, the government tells us were not found.
Unbelievable. Again, I don't want to give away too much, but
I want people to watch. watch. That's why I'm just going to talk. I'm not going to give specifics of the show, Alex, because I want everyone to enjoy the show, and I won't narrate it before it goes on the air.
No. But I mean, you're giving us a lot here, and I know a lot of the inside baseball, and obviously I'm sworn to secrecy. I'm just telling folks, I'm surprised you're able to get this on air, Jesse, because...
Well, Alex, it ain't on yet.